Hello, hello. Well, today we're going to be continuing to talk about dots. Continuing if you did the pointillism lesson last time. So we are going to have fun with moving on and finding more creative ways to use dots in art. Now, pointillism, if you remember, was when a bunch of dots of different colors are combined to either make a color, like mixing your colors, or all those tiny dots are used to just create an image so that if you squint or even if you look at it from far away, you don't see the dots and you just see colors. So today we're gonna work more individually, so using bubble wrap. And when I say individually, it's individual dots. So you don't really have to squint, but we can still try to make images with those dots on the bubble wraps. So no popping those bubbles. We need that bubble wrap to make art. Hey friends, I did quickly want to mention that to avoid getting ink on your fingers, your hands, your other markers or Sharpies, I would advise to use permanent markers, which markers typically aren't permanent. If you're using just regular coloring markers, they are water-based, so they take a long time to dry or longer, and it doesn't work as well on plastic. So permanent will typically be a Sharpie, or it'll say on there permanent marker. For example, and it's already getting my paper wet too. So my sky, do you see all those little tiny dots? That's because it's still wet. I didn't have a nice dark blue Sharpie, so I just used like a calligraphy pen or something. So it's wet and it's gonna be wet for a while. Everything else is filled in really nicely, solidly. That's Sharpie, so it's already dry. Now one thing that I did do is, since I have this wet side, I flipped it over to the bubble part, where this bubble part I have not colored. So I put the wet side down on the white piece of paper so that you could still display it, and then people aren't going to come along and want to touch it and get that all over their fingers. So bubble side up and the marker side is down. Alrighty, let's get started.